All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever watched a superhero movie and instead of looking at the flying metal suits or the laser beams, you found yourself wondering, what on earth is their electric bill? Today, we're going to do a fascinating back-of-the-napkin calculation based on some truly eye-opening data. We are figuring out the actual real-world cost of running a Tony Stark-level AI using today's technology. It's a journey into the hidden math of our science fiction dreams, and I promise you, the numbers are going to shock you.
So, I've got a question for you. What if you actually built Jarvis today? I mean, we all dream of having a smart home exactly like that iconic Malibu mansion, right? Where the lights dim perfectly, the security is absolutely flawless, and the house just kind of knows what you need before you even say a word. But if we peel back the movie magic, we have to ask what is really happening computationally behind the scenes. Today, we aren't looking at Hollywood fantasy. We're looking at cold, hard server logic.
Section 1, the autonomous agent fantasy. Okay, let's dive right into how this magic actually works.
So an autonomous agent is basically an AI that continuously analyzes real-time video to infer situations without needing explicit commands. And you know, that word right there, continuously, that is the absolute secret sauce. This AI doesn't just sit around in a dormant sleep mode waiting for you to say a wake word like, "Hey, computer." No, it constantly watches, it constantly listens, and most importantly, it constantly thinks.
Section 2, translating magic into tech. Let's set up our real-world baseline. Let's lay out the physical parameters to establish our mathematical thought experiment here. First up, the AI model. We're going to use Claude's Sonnet since it's specifically chosen for its strong vision handling capabilities and efficient token pricing. Second, the hardware. We're installing 10 surveillance cameras throughout the house to give the AI its eyes. And third, the input rate. We are going to feed those cameras to the AI at exactly 1 frame per second, so just one single image every second from 10 cameras. Honestly, it sounds relatively simple and highly efficient, right? Well, wait until you see what happens to the math when you run that continuously. Section 3, the billion token breakdown. Let's add up the math. And this brilliantly illustrates where the staggering scale really reveals itself. Processing a single image from one of those cameras costs 300 tokens. That alone adds up to 7.8 billion tokens a month just for the visual input. But the overwhelming majority of the computation is actually hidden in the reasoning. Think about it. To infer and remember conversational situations, the AI has to maintain the entire context of your daily life in its working memory. Because of how context windows constantly compound, with the AI essentially rereading the whole history of recent events every time a new frame arrives, the prompt caching and reasoning requires a massive, and I mean massive, 432 billion tokens. That continuous reasoning process completely dwarfs the visual input. And that final, tiny remainder? Just 150 million tokens. That's for the voice and hologram output. Basically, talking to you is computationally cheap. Constantly understanding your environment is what breaks the bank. Section 4, the final API bill. Let's count the real cost here.
All right, here is our pricing baseline. $3 per 1 million tokens. $3. At first glance, it seems super affordable. But I want you to start doing that terrifying mental math alongside me. Remember, we aren't dealing with a few million tokens. We are dealing with well over 439 billion tokens in total across input, reasoning, and output. When you take that massive volume and multiply it by this seemingly cheap pricing model, the result is absolutely eye-watering.
Over 200 million South Korean won. To put that into perspective, that is roughly 150,000 US dollars every single month, at an absolute minimum, just to pay for the AI API usage. Keep in mind, that doesn't even cover the cost of the 10 cameras, the electricity, the servers, or the giant mansion itself. So it turns out Tony Stark's real superpower isn't his suit, and it honestly isn't his intellect. His real superpower is his server budget. Maintaining a digital butler that truly understands its environment in real time is just astronomically expensive. Which brings us to our final thought. Jarvis is far, far more expensive than you think. So I'll leave you with this provocative question to ponder. Could you afford Tony Stark's AI reality? Even though incredible software models like Claude, Sonnet exist today, the raw computational cost of continuous, autonomous reasoning remains a luxury strictly reserved for comic book billionaires. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this completely changes how you look at the smart home of the future.